No. To answer my totally ludicrous clickbaity question in the title and thumbnail, Playboi Carti is not the devil. I'm going to be reviewing his new song, All Red, and I'm not going to be doing some kind of salacious study into the upside-down crosses and the images of the occult, of this mysterious demonic vampire. No, that's just absolutely silly, okay? The reason that I'm asking the question at all, though, is not just for clickbait. It's sort of following up on my last video. The last video I did was on the new Kendrick Lamar song. Thank you very much for watching it. It's got a huge response. I appreciate it. And in that, I sort of drew up what I called the Manichean struggle of Kendrick Lamar, where he was really laying it out that rap is having a battle for its soul, and there's the good and there's the evil, right? So there's the angels and demons, gods and devils. And in that, I think one could be mistaken for thinking that maybe Playboi Carti belongs alongside Drake and the other devils, because, you know, he raps about money and excess and sex and violence. But this is why, one of the reasons I love studying Playboi Carti, why I love listening to his music, is that, of course, he's not. He is way closer to Kendrick than he is to Drake. As a matter of fact, I would say he is in the same tier as Kendrick Lamar. Sorry, it took me a second to say it because I knew it was scandalous, but if I had to do a tier list of rappers all time, they would definitely be on the same tier. That's how important I think he is. And also, let's remember, the nature of this evil is not simply the sort of tired, old, conscious rap versus not conscious rap. That's why, to give Kendrick credit again, I think it was important that he put Kodak Black on his last album, because it was his sort of most elevated, introspective album, while at the same time having the person who perhaps represents to most people the most sort of ignorant possible version of rap music. No, the forces of evil that I described is people who take rap and turn it simply into a commodity. Take the art and transform it into a unit to be sold. Mainly made to satisfy a large audience, and therefore mainly made to satisfy a white audience and representing what it is they want to hear. Dedicated to Reaganite policies and the individual, not the collective. Okay, so it's understandable. It can be sort of confusing, and this is one of the things that I want to do in this channel when I talk about hip-hop and rap, is really try super hard, even though I'm going to spend all this time on the great underground rap artists and the conscious rap artists, even though I talked about Skye just last week. I think it's very important that we don't see that as being the split, because if we see that kind of split, it ends up often being based on level of education, perhaps even based on class, perhaps even based on region. Playboi Carti, like all great rappers, represents the place where he comes from, makes the music for them. And most importantly, beyond his charisma and his influence and his style, he has artistic vision and he follows it. It's just hard to figure out. It's hard to see. He's a confusing guy. One of my most successful videos was my Playboi Carti concert review. Thank you for watching that as well. And I don't even think he was in the room. Okay, I think I did a concert review for a musician who wasn't even there. Okay? He's that level of mysterious. The question is, you know, I think he is a top 5 active MC. Not of all time, but of who's acting right now. And I think he is still there. What he does so well is he has this amazing sort of psychedelic, almost dissociative approach to his rap. And he's not the only person who does this. You know, RX Nephew does this, and I think sometimes other kind of rage trap artists do it. But I think that Playboi Carti does it the best. And I think the way that he does it, I think we could compare it mostly to some snooty-ass abstract artists from the 1940s and 50s called color field abstract artists. Thank you for auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor. It's my birthday weekend, so I don't have as much time as I normally would to listen to music. You know, I got the newborn, all that. My son came to visit from Maryland, so I'm really, really busy. So I used to have this much time to myself, and at this point I've got that much. So I'm really happy that these 2 songs came out, because it's easier for me to talk about a song for an hour than and to listen to a song for 5 minutes 10 times than it is to listen to one album twice, right? And what I really appreciate, you know, when we're talking about Playboi Carti, what makes him so great, one thing is I think he really knows how to pick beats. I think he's really in charge. I think he's really thinking. And in this case, he's once again working with one Ilthy, or I suppose he'd just say filthy. I do have my baby monitor here in case my 2-year-old wakes up. So do not wake up, Filthy. And I think Filthy deserves a lot of credit. I think he was sort of, the James Cameron to the Pierre Bourne Ridley Scott in the Alien series, like the guy who really took over for a whole lot of Red and did most of the production when most people wanted to hear, Pierre, you want to come out here? Instead, they heard Wake Up Filthy. I think he got kind of a bad rap, even though it sort of sounds like, okay, if you listen to it just sort of once and you're not paying attention, kind of standard dirty synths on a loop with some trap drums, whatever. But if you really listen, it's a very, very well crafted atmosphere. It's a well crafted space for Playboi Carti's voice. I mean, the bass, so the drum loop itself, the trap, the hi-hat like trills used very sparingly, like 3 or 4 times throughout the song, and the bass, like it's not on a, so you figure out how many measures are in a beat, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one measure. It's a double measure, and the bass is on 1 and 4, so it creates a lot of space. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Really nice. Gives it that kind of area, gives that kind of ambiance, right? It also has sort of a nice stutter step at a point. There's this great moment where something drops, where everything drops out, and there's just this almost like Inception soundtrack, Hans Zimmer, blah, with this low bass keyboard. It's just really well worked out, and when you listen to it, you can just sort of imagine a Pro Tools in front of him with like 30 or 40 different tracks going, and all these different sounds. At the very end, he even gives himself a little bit of time to stunt. The louder droning sounds cut out, and there's this more sort of distorted kind of crunchy sounds. The vocals are really well produced. There's even some like slight vocoder sounds in the back. Oh, it's just a beautifully produced song. But really, obviously, we have to talk about Cardi. We have to talk about his rapping style. I reviewed his, I don't know when this album's coming out. I think it's coming out soon. And I'm excited for it because you always know when it's Cardi, right? I mean, even I, who am a 47-year-old guy, sitting in his backyard because his house is too full, being ruthlessly mocked by the birds in my trees, or the trees. Even I, who have not always known the difference between Lil Baby and Da Baby, I do now, but when I started this channel, I certainly didn't. You can always tell when it's his voice. But how? How do we always know? I mean, you listen to Rockstar Made off of A Whole Lotta Red. He's doing that extreme whisper yell with that cracked voice. Or you listen to Dry Lit, and it's that weird sort of impish Joker, like in that album. I imagine like a little troll living under a bridge, like writing nasty comments on the internet and laughing about it. Like that's the kind of, like when I say what does Playboi Carti sound like, the first thing you'll probably say is, right? That's what you kind of imagine. Then this song, it's totally Cardi. You hear it, and there's no question that it's Cardi, but there's nothing impish about it at all. Okay? He is not big impin' on this. Jesus Christ. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke. It's okay. Keep going. I don't edit my videos, so this is the first one you've watched. Tell me in the comments. Big impin'. Very funny. You know it's him, even though it's a way more mature voice. He's just basically talking, and there's a sort of low voice, and he's not really joking around, and it's not really modulated by any kind of auto-tune or anything, and he's not really trying to sing. I don't know why I'm always end up doing a Jordan Peterson impersonation when I try to sound like Playboi Carti. But he's amazing at switching these voices, which is again why I say maybe he's closer to Kendrick than he is to Drake, because, rappers who can change their voice this well, this clearly, this remarkably, while still remaining who they are, is great. It's almost like he did the reverse of Kendrick, like where Kendrick, as he gets older, he seems to be playing more and more with a sort of jokey, sing-songy voice, where he started off more serious, whereas now Playboi Carti is getting more serious, and he started off kind of jokey and sing-songy. There's also just the breath control and the ad-libs and the energy. No matter what form, no matter what register he's rapping in, no matter how he's rapping, whichever style of Playboi Carti we get, we always have that very difficult contradiction of whisper yelling. Always the sense of someone who wouldn't wake up my baby on the baby monitor, yet just in the way that he's rapping, there's this tension behind his words that just make you want to put your fist through a wall, okay? That just make you want to jump and scream and punch and shout. So, what is this about? What is this song Allred about? Well, it's a fascinating portrait of American feminist attorney Gloria Allred. Her complicated life, helping to fight for women's reproductive rights, to a controversial... No, I told you I'd get one joke. I already spent it on the big impin' thing. But when I saw the song was called Allred, I had a lot of fun imagining what a Playboi Carti song about Gloria Allred would be. No, it's nothing. There's no subject. There is no subject to this painting, okay? This is an abstract painting. It is comprised of things you might recognize, shapes, colors, but the actual thing that it's about is nothing. In fact, I would say the only thing it really is about this color red. I know. You can tell me, all you trap lore Randys, if you want to tell me that red actually means blood, and when he talks about the Fives, that's a specific gang out of Atlanta, and it's about this gang and this gang member, and this guy shot this guy, and that guy shot that guy. Okay, cool. I'm sure. I don't doubt you. I'm sure it's tied into some kind of gang thing, but I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's red. I think he talks about red because he's trying to talk about red. I think the color red elicits a lot of emotion. I think the color red, especially paired with black and white, as he is known to do, ends up creating an interesting feeling. Often dark tones, slightly demonic tones. If this was called Whole Lotta Yellow, and was all yellow and pink and light blue, you would be like, wow, that's pretty wild, right? I think this red, this blood red, this violence red, this passion red, I think, to a certain degree, we need to give him credit for doing what other people have done, which is an exercise in color. I think that's what he's doing. That's why I brought up the color field painters of the 1940s and 1950s. So abstract expressionism is the term that is used to describe any painter who paints stuff where ignorant people go to art museums and go, I could do that. That's just a bunch of stuff on a thing. I could do that. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. So that's abstract expressionist, just throwing paint around or doing something automatic, whatever. Color field painting is a specific range of that. Is a specific subset of abstract expressionism where people take mostly large fields of color. Sometimes they will stain the canvas with the color, sometimes they will throw it, sometimes they will put it on carefully. But essentially the idea is that normally color and shape are how you define something or how you make something. So if you want to paint me on this porch, you have to use different colors and you have to use different shapes. In the modern era, with these color field painters, all of a sudden, the point of the painting became the color. That was the purpose. That was the meaning. That's why I'm going to show you this painting, Untitled Red from 1949, by Mark Rothko, and tell you this is how I feel listening to Playboi Carti. Okay? Now listen, this painting is 3 feet tall. It's a very large painting. He has many paintings like this, different colors, different sizes. If you ever go to Houston, there's a gallery, a Rothko gallery. It's probably the best place to see art in the United States of America. It's an amazing place. It's definitely the most breathtaking church in America, or most breathtaking holy place in America, I would say. Anyways, Mark Rothko. So this painting here, you might see it and say, okay, it's just a couple rectangles. Anyone can do that. Mark Rothko made these paintings and figured out ways, through their monumentality, through their chromatic choices, just red, red, and red. You sit there and you're in the presence of this painting, And it gives you feelings, it gives you emotions, it gives you a sort of overall sentiment that you can't really describe. I could try to say it brings you maybe a sense of peace or perhaps a sense of anxiety, depending on how you react to it, but it ultimately gives you a feeling that you cannot describe. That's part of what makes abstract expressionist painting so great, is that even though it's praised by people like me who could write papers about it, etc., it's actually more interesting in the fact that you can't really describe it. Because that's how I feel listening to All Red. This is how I feel listening to Playboi Carti in general. Yeah, I pick out the words here and there. I basically get what he's saying. But with this red, okay, like it's totally abstract. So that's why I'm making that point. And the reason I'm making that point especially, and you might be sitting there saying, Skye, you're stretching like Stretch Armstrong. This is ridiculous. Maybe. But the other thing I try to do on this channel is there is a lot of snootiness that goes around. And rap artists, in general, are not provided that snootiness unless they are a certain class of rapper, like Billy Woods, right? Unless they are very clearly super educated, super intelligent, putting forth very sophisticated ideas, they are not granted that level of introspection, that level of analysis. And I think it's important, because I think we have been forced to confront what these colors feel. I think Cardi works in atmosphere. I think he gives us abstract rectangles of words where the meaning is secondary. Okay? And it's great. And it's art. It is A-R-T art. Just as much as anything that Kendrick Lamar makes. And just as much as anything Drake does not make. Okay? It is not a unit to be sold. It is an idea of an artist, however weird, bizarre, and problematic that idea may be. Because the meaning is secondary. And what I love is the when I listen to a Playboi Carti song for the first time, I never hear the words, ever. I never know what he's saying. I listen to it 3 or 4 times, I get it. So what I thought would be fun was I would turn these lyrics into the poetry that I hear when he first says them, okay? So I'm just going to read you what I heard, not the actual lyrics. I'm going to read you what I heard. I sat down, crust, turned my neck, shut him up. My billy-ups parked outside. My bajam trying to go for a ride. I put vetmiss right on her thighs. I put my mask on, 'cause I be fried. All red, I stay with the fives. All red, we pull up a 5. All red, somebody died. All red, we pull up the drive. I push not wep not seats. Chip like Madden, you can get bleached. I used to ride baggage, then I got reach. This is Thatcher. She can't be my beach. This is a thought. She can't be my beach. Yes. I cuspy a spot, a spread a bitch. I come to you spot and spread the bitch. I come to you spot and take that shit, hold up. I got the drop, we lay in that bitch. Gun stole a vehicle dried up. Push 'em, your blackout, we spread 'em. Somebody send 'em a prayer. Somebody send 'em some prayers. I got some shit gone cray. I need a whole nother Atlanta. I am in the whole Atlanta. I'm a different type of player. I'm a different type of player. I am a credit player. Shop with crank puss gun. Shop with mama's hair. Shop with Trillia Maya. Fuck a bit right here. Drive a cup of Rodea. I might have to get his own hair. Thank you. That's the abstraction I'm talking about. That's the joy that I get. Sure, I went in and loaded. Turns out he was driving a Bentley, not a Billy Ups. I understand. I understand most of those lyrics might have been clear to you the first time you hear them. But like I said, I never grew up in Atlanta. Okay, I don't know. I don't know the accent. I don't know all the slang. That's the way that I feel. So that's my little invitation to you. My invitation to you is to listen to this song while staring at this painting, okay? You know how you do that thing? You know what is brain rot, right? Where people like watch Subway Surfer while playing watch a TikTok or whatever, where it's like someone playing Family Guy up top, and then Subway Surfer down there. Do that, but with art. Just stare at this painting, listen to the song All Red. 2.5 minutes. I think you'll start to see the connection. You'll have a kind of transcendental artistic connection between two very improbable collaborators. You know, the kind of experience that maybe people try to get by doing drugs, but maybe you can just get it just by doing it with art. All right. Now to check if my 2-year-old is up. It's a new feature on the channel. She is not. Oh, she's rolling over. Oh boy. All right. Throw a like, smash like bucket, AVAA if you like the video. It means awesome video as always. I will always heart those comments unless I missed them. I might have missed a couple on the Kendrick video. And tell me in the comments why I'm wrong. All right, there's the camera.